The late afternoon sun was dipping behind the Arkansas hills, casting a warm golden light across the Duggar family property. Inside the big house, the younger kids were finishing chores, laughter echoing faintly down the long hallway. It was a normal day, or at least it was supposed to be. But everything changed in a single moment. In the corner of the living room, Jessa Seawald stared at her phone, her face turning pale. Her scrolling thumb froze midair. What is this?" she whispered. The headline hit her like a punch to the chest. R.I.P. Jim Bob Duggar, beloved family patriarch, passes away at 59. Her heart dropped. A photo of her father, smiling, arms crossed, was plastered beneath the false obituary. She read it again and again. Then her eyes widened in horror. The post had 32,000 shares and counting. A viral Facebook hoax pretending her father was gone. The family in shock. Within minutes, the house erupted in confusion. Jessa rushed into the kitchen, still gripping her phone. "Mom, you need to see this," she said, voice trembling. Michelle Duggar looked up from preparing dinner. The moment her eyes read the headline, her breath hitched, the air leaving her lungs in one sudden wave. "Oh my, no, no, no," she whispered, clamping a hand over her mouth. She wasn't crying because she believed it. She was crying because of the sheer cruelty, the shock of seeing her husband declared dead by strangers across the internet. The younger children gathered around, confused. "What's wrong, Mom? Why is Aunt Jessa crying? What happened?" Michelle steadied her voice. "It's not real, sweetheart. Daddy's fine. Someone made a very bad lie." But the room felt heavy, as though an invisible cloud had rolled in. Where was Jim Bob? Ironically, Jim Bob Duggar, the man the internet had mistakenly killed off, was completely unaware. He was outside repairing a fence on the far side of the property, humming quietly as he worked, blissfully disconnected from social media drama. But when he walked back toward the house, he noticed something was off. Several cars were parked out front. Siblings he hadn't expected today were rushing inside. Phones were ringing nonstop. "What in the—" he muttered. The moment he stepped through the doorway, Michelle rushed to him, wrapping her arms tightly around his neck. "Jim Bob, someone posted that you died." She said it softly, her voice cracking. Jim Bob blinked, stunned. What? Why would someone do that?" Before he could process it, Joyanna, Jedediah, and Ginger over FaceTime all shouted at once. "Dad, the whole internet thinks you're dead. It's all over Facebook. It's going viral." Jim Bob stared at them, bewildered. "Well," he said finally, attempting a shaky smile, "I may feel old sometimes, but I didn't think I looked that dead." But behind the humor, his eyes were full of hurt. The storm online. As the Duggar family scrambled to handle the situation, the online world spiraled into chaos. Fan groups were panicking. "Is this real? Someone confirm. I'm crying right now." Some pages even posted tribute photos, memorial messages, and candle emojis. Others recognized it as a hoax instantly and fought back. "This is fake. Stop spreading lies. Do not believe random Facebook posts. This is cruel to the family." The false obituary had been posted to a large celebrity news page, one known for clickbait. But this time, it had gone too far. Within hours, the hoax spread across multiple platforms, amplified by algorithms, reactions, and confusion. Even local news stations began calling the Duggar home for a statement. inside the Duggar home, a wave of emotion. In the dining room, siblings gathered around the long wooden table. No one felt like eating. Instead, they sat in stunned silence, scrolling through comments, thousands of them. Some were heartbreaking, some were angry, some were simply shocked. Jana wiped her eyes. It's strange, seeing people talk about Dad like he's already gone. Joseph nodded slowly. It makes you realize how fast misinformation travels. Ginger's voice crackled through FaceTime. I had to reassure my friends I wasn't planning a funeral. But the saddest moment came when little Josie, the youngest, who didn't fully understand, sat beside Jim Bob and whispered, "Daddy, why are people saying you died? Are you leaving us?" Jim Bob took her tiny hands in his. "No, sweetheart, I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere." Josie climbed into his lap, hugging him tightly, as if afraid he might disappear if she let go. The whole room fell silent. A statement to the public. By evening, the family agreed they needed to speak publicly, not out of anger, but to stop the panic. Jessa drafted a gentle message. "We want to calm everyone's fears. Our dad, Jim Bob Duggar, is very much alive. A false post is circulating, and we appreciate everyone who reached out with concern." Michelle added a note of grace. "Please be careful what you share online. Not everything on the internet is true." Within minutes, the statement spread like wildfire, and a new wave of comments poured in. "Thank God. I was so scared." People shouldn't play with something this serious. The relief was overwhelming. Jim Bob's reflection. Later that night, after the children were in bed and the chaos had quieted, Jim Bob sat on the porch with Michelle beside him. Fireflies blinked in the yard. Crickets sang softly under the night sky. "That was something," Jim Bob sighed. Michelle leaned her head on his shoulder. "I think people forget there are real families behind these posts." He nodded slowly. "It's strange, seeing what people would say if I really were gone." Michelle squeezed his hand. "I'm just thankful it isn't real." Jim Bob looked at the starry sky, taking a deep breath. "Maybe this is a reminder," he said quietly, "to hold everyone a little closer, to be grateful for every day we're given." Michelle nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. A family closer than ever. The next morning, the Duggar home felt lighter, as though the storm had passed. Jim Bob cooked breakfast for the kids, flipping pancakes with exaggerated enthusiasm. "Look, everyone, the alive chef at work." Laughter filled the kitchen. And in that laughter, there was healing. The hoax had been cruel. It had been frightening. It had shaken the family more deeply than they expected. But it also reminded them of something important. Life is fragile. Family is precious. And love, real, strong, lasting love, endures beyond rumors, headlines, and viral lies. Jim Bob wasn't gone. He was right there, alive, grateful, and more aware than ever of the pricelessness of every sunrise.